Word up.
Yo, long hairs, welcome to episode 109 of Let It Ride. Here we talk long hair and business, advocate for hair equality, and celebrate men's long manes with hair whips and high fives. If you're a guy with long hair, you're in the right place. I am El Moreno, and I'm here at the Long Hairs HQ. Right alongside me is El Sicario. What's up, dude? And today we got a special guest, as we most typically kind of do. He is a returning guest. He is also a content creator, a business owner, a singer, an actor, an athlete, a model, a long hair who went under the shears with us in 2019 for the Great Cut. He just came out with a new hit single called Someone Else. You can listen to it now on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, and Amazon Music. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce you to the fearless, motivating, musical fashionista. It's the man with the heart as big as his hair. It's Marshall Chakra.
Wow, what an introduction. Thank you. El Suavecito, as they call me in the long hair streets.
Yes, a.k.a. El Suavecito. Messed that up. Sorry.
It's all good.
Chuck wrote that intro. That was the first reading right there.
Wow.
Got to give props to Chuck. That was fire.
Smooth.
That was fire.
That was pretty good. Thank you, Chuck, even though the schedule is a little off, but we love you. And that's life. Life is not always going to be butterflies and flamingos.
Right. Hey, you're still here. You're still at the HQ, man. It's great to have you here. What's really cool is you have kind of been to all the different HQs, like
it's
from
crazy.
my garage to the Chula Vista to this. Like, you've seen it all.
And this is just extraordinary. It's exciting to see the growth, and it's a good little life example of just where you could take things when you stay consistent and dedicated. So
totally, man.
Proud of you guys. It's
hey,
so sick.
You are also that same example.
Thank you.
When we first had you on the podcast, you had recently moved to LA, kind of figuring out what your deal was. You know, you're like, I'm modeling. I'm gonna do some acting. I'm pursuing my dream. You know, I'm coming out here and I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And it's probably been 3 or 4 years. 3 years, I think.
2019.
So
since the podcast,
lot has happened in your life.
A lot
in 3 years.
Yeah.
And you are that same example, man. You forged your way. You made it work. So what's up, dude? You're in the music scene now.
Yes, music.
Should we start there? Because I feel like it's like the most exciting.
Yeah, it is. Since
stuff.
you already brought it up, you said the new hit single, Someone Else is out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, a little bit about that. Yeah, obviously, I've been around the music scene and event producing for almost 10 to 15 years now. So I've been showcasing artists and showcasing their talents. And now I figured I've always loved music, and I got hit blindsided with a crazy little breakup thing, but kind of like sparked it. But Fun fact is I actually wrote my first song in the beginning of the relationship, and now I kind of just I was focused on a lot of different things just through my business endeavors, home bells, and hosting events through there. I didn't really focus and in tune myself with my writing skills and all what I could do. I was focused on a lot of what other people could do and showcasing there, which is a great thing too. But now it's time to really zone in on myself and see what I can create, basically, you know?
Dude, shit. That's awesome.
Crazy.
Yeah. So, did you have you writing the actual music too? Are you writing the lyrics? But who's helping you with the music production?
The story is too, I've been, in a way, following a good friend of mine for the last 15 years. Literally following him. We started in Connecticut in 6th grade. He moved to Virginia. Then I moved to Virginia for college. From college, he moved to LA. And then I did as well, but I never endeavored this side of music. And then turns out a breakup really ignited and sparked our creativity flow. And we work so well together, really? So he produces the beats, everything. Okay. He goes by the name of Joel Woods. So his music is just on Spotify everywhere. You can find him everywhere. So he's really well off too, and getting there, growing. And he's helping me grow and critique the pinpoints of how to sing it and when and come in and But now I'm just getting better and better. I'm 4 songs in right now, but only one's released. So
sick, man.
So crazy.
It's exciting, huh?
Yeah, it's amazing what can inspire pain, I would say, but also creativity, because you never really see that inside yourselves. So until something happens.
Take some confidence too to step in front of the mic or even approach the paper and write about your, something that's in your heart there. So how did you get that confidence to do that?
Honestly, seeking discomfort. To be honest, honestly, stuff like this does make me uncomfortable. A lot of people won't see that side of me, but deep down, like, it does make you like question things. But I just push past those little barriers in my head. I'm just like, dude, I just gotta let it go and do it, because you'll never know you're gonna inspire to. I think beyond myself. I think like what can help others in this situation, and that's where this is taking me. Is like, I want to be able to help people. I want to be able to help people with my words now, from my past experience and my mess ups, basically. And now, yeah. I mean, you'll hear it now. Like, if you listen to the podcast from 3 years ago, I was like a little shy and didn't know how to like speak up. And now, but like now going through the ringer, I guess you want to call it, the wrestling match of life, I've been able to pick up just these little insecurities and flaws and just push past those boundaries and elevate myself to the next level and develop what I can,
Dude, that's awesome,
pretty
man.
Cool.
And you really like built a little community out there in LA, right? Like around the fitness, home bells, all that stuff. Like was that another aspect of kind of breaking through those barriers and getting out there?
Yeah, I'd say absolutely. Home bells has helped me grow. Like, I was always scared to lead people in that aspect and be the center of attention with everybody's like eyes are on me. Oh shoot, now I have to direct them to do an exercise and do this the right movements and everything. And I was just like, all right, this is my time to shine. And like, honestly, the pandemic really opened up my eyes to show us, like, it doesn't matter in life where you're at. Anything can happen drastically and change the trajectory of anyone's life. And like, celebrities, musicians, everybody was out of work. Everybody was just flunked. They didn't know what to do. All these careers were just kind of plummeting. Our businesses were shut down. People didn't know what to do. And I just had this idea to create a fitness atmosphere of community and push people outside their comfort zones and getting them outside, getting them outdoors through this pandemic. And like, most importantly, take care of their health, take care of their physical health, mental health, and I guess their appearance, So that's what helped me motivate me to the next level.
Tracks.
I have tracks,
He's
baby.
got Spotify, bro. He's got his own Spotify.
I'm verified.
Life. Make it real.
I love that.
And
that's what my whole time out here in LA has really blossomed me to adventure in different aspects and walks of life, from fitness to music to acting, modeling. But in the midst of all that, I'm chaotic. I'm all over the place. But at the same time, I'm still doing the meat of it. And what is that? Creating and storytelling. And I'm like, I want to do this through music now as well, to enhance what others are capable of doing,
Yeah, man. You're getting like some good response on the music, right? Like feedback. I saw your videos of all your friends singing or other or people just like singing your track.
You sent something,
dude.
Too.
I said, dude, when I first heard his track, I had it stuck in my head. His first song, someone else, right? That's else. And that one was just like, it was in my head. I'm singing it, and I just like, dude, I gotta hit Marshall. I just sent him a voice message, just yelling it.
Yeah, you inspired me. I mean, you inspire me daily with the business aspect, but even that too, it just helps ignite things and a fire in me.
Dude,
because when people do that, that's another thing. If whoever's listening to these podcasts, you need to understand that it is good to reach out to friends and family or whoever just that inspires you. Yeah, we see it on social media. We see it everywhere, like through that. Okay, you see it, but did you actually reach out to them and say, hey, you've inspired me. You're doing this. Like, this has helped my walk in life. So I'm encouraging you all to do that, because a lot of people get so drained because we're always absorbing things, but we never actually push out and send encouraging things to other people. Is make sure you're in tune with that, your relationships with family, friends, anybody that inspires you. And Lindsay here freaking inspired me and pushed me to the next level. Like, getting those random texts and voicemails from my friends and family really helped me pump out this next one coming too. And just like, I don't know, just continue it, because we get distracted,
It's phenomenal.
Sometimes I feel like facing the people I care about is more difficult than So like a project where it's like, hey, this thing I'm working on, I don't know exactly which direction it's going, but like, here, listen to my song. Like, what do you think?
Oh, I love that. And it's touching base on the community aspect of relationship building, of why it's important to have personal one-on-one encounters with people you love and who are in your life currently.
Yeah.
And even if it is that just a text, or it's funny you bring this up because in the last episode we had El Sergio, so here you're homies with him too.
Oh yeah, he actually called me too, and he inspired me again.
No way.
It was so crazy.
That's awesome.
It's such a blessing. Thank you, El Sergio. My
So
man.
he brought the same thing up. He's like, hey man, you should just, if you're thinking about somebody, if you're just like driving and you just think about that person, say you haven't thought about them for months, like you should send them a text right there, right then.
Absolutely.
Just like, hey, just want you to know, I'm thinking about you. Just hope you're doing good. He was like, you won't realize until you start doing it, you don't realize how much
really
that
needed it.
means to them, but then kind of gets back to you, the energy,
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
and your point about, putting out, like we all do that on our social media and just assuming everybody just like,
sees it, I guess.
it or like kind of knows what's really going on,
Yeah,
or,
nobody really does.
they feel like you sent that to them. Like anything you put on Instagram, I don't feel like, Jose here is like, oh, he sent that just for me, posted that just for me. Like, I mean,
right?
Just like family doesn't think that, like, oh, I get to see what he's doing. That looks cool. But if you just even send them the same exact thing, just straight to the text, that'll mean more to them,
Like you said, just send them a text. Hey man, hope you're doing good. That's it. Doesn't have to be a full on conversation. We don't have to hang out. I just want you to know that I'm thinking about you.
Yeah, amen.
It's awesome.
I love that.
Yeah, man. Maximum gratitude. I want that to be like a new. I wish hashtags were still a thing, dude.
Yeah.
Hashtag maximum
For real.
gratitude.
They're outdated.
Yeah,
That could be a brand.
Yeah.
Maximum gratitude.
Dude, you're kind of getting into Gary Vee territory, bro.
No. As long as I don't talk about hustle,
The-
it's just hustle. You just gotta hustle. It's like, Gary, I'm hungry. I don't have money for food.
I know
Well,
you
you're
don't
You're
like
not hustling.
follow him, but that's been his big thing for the last he's always like, first thing anybody asks, I'll tell you what it is. Gratitude. That's what it is.
Yeah, he does that all the time. I've
Yeah.
seen it. I mean, he is inspiring too.
So new song. Your goal here. I like your approach to your music here. Your plan is to drop like a song a month, right?
My plan is that. Yes, correct.
Okay, so
Song a month.
we're in month 2.
Month 2.
We got song 2 ready to drop, or
It
what?
is
What's
coming.
going on?
It
Okay.
is coming.
Okay.
It's by the end of the month. So I don't want to say dates yet because it's there. But it's getting. So with how you release your music too, it's good to wait and put it up on these platforms. So you pitch it to these. So basically, it's called DistroKid. It's a distributor, and they kind of pitch it to all these playlists, so it can eventually get more traction for when it's on the platforms. So like that's why it's best to wait a little longer, because you never know who
Get
is
all the
watching it.
communications out. Get your
Get the PR ready, I guess, the content, everything. Get it. Yep, algorithms, everything, and so that's why I pushed this one. And I wanted to sit back on it because the first one I just released it kind of quick. Most of it was off of feelings and emotions, and this one's more. I want to be more strategic with it, planning, because now in reality you do have to treat everything like a business. Yeah, that's the world we live in.
But if
now.
it's a once a month goal, I mean, when do you wait to the end of the month at the
the
latest? I mean,
yes.
you can't push it and miss a month, right?
No, you can't, because technically your monthly followers are going to go down because it's not new, So yes, my goal is to have it by April 27th to the end.
Okay, there we go.
I do have a release date, but I might push it back again just in case. But yes, there it is. It's coming out. It's sick. It's inspiring. But to touch base on the music aspect and everything, fill you in about the little breakup chaos that I've been dealing with.
Yeah, let's hear the drama.
Let's hear the drama. Drama on the podcast. This is good because it's actually going to help develop myself, but also people around me, whoever's listening. Like I said, the music, and when you hear the song, there's a line in there that talks about, my words hurt me more than they hurt you. And that's where I struggled within the relationship of, yes, the relationship is it's a partner thing. You're growing, you're walking shoulder to shoulder sometimes, or head to head, and you're bumping heads. In this kind of situation, we were kind of bumping heads. We weren't really seeing eye to eye. Obviously, in relationships, you won't. But you also have to find the meat and the root of issues. And a lot of the times I'm going to confess and say I had a lot of insecurities, to be honest. When you're dating someone just super beautiful, 5'10", model, blue eyes, blonde, of course you're going to get a little insecure, but there's a lot of things that I struggled with over talking and talking over somebody, not letting them finish. And my words, I would attack them sometimes in the wrong ways, and I won't let them speak. And like I told Jose over here, El Sicario, earlier before we started this podcast, is really tune in and listen to things around you. And that's what I struggled with, because you never understand and get. You'll miss out of something you actually needed to hear if you continue to talk over somebody.
Yeah.
So that's a powerful line within my song. It's just like, my words hurt me more than you think they hurt yourself, and they hurt me more because I was struggling with it. I didn't know how to deal with these issues, and she was kind of blatantly telling me, you're on thin ice, you better figure it out. I'm like, okay. In reality, though, too, we didn't really get to the root of my issue, and that's what I regret. And then in the song, it says, why are you going to give up? Why are you going to leave now? I kind of, in a way, called her out, just like, hey, let's not just end it like that. Let's figure this out. But in reality, I didn't really treat her as a friend in the relationship. I kind of was like a dad, I guess. I put her in a box, and that's what struggled. Because we were bumping heads on the religion aspect of things and God and relationship, and that's like the root of things in my walk with Christ and everything is you're supposed to love where you're at. And she always said that to me. She loves like Christ, to be honest with you. Yes, she has her mistakes, but I wasn't fully loving like Christ. I was bumping my head of, hey, you shouldn't be doing this, shouldn't do this. Okay, yeah, but live out an example of what Christ did. He came to live an example, and you got to treat that as if, you know. So yeah, that's where my head is wrapped around on that first song.
Okay.
And
so what have you done to address the problems that you've learned
honestly,
through that relationship?
The music, I mean, to be honest, I'm not here to talk about her or bash her or anything, but like, she comes from a completely different background in life from where I come from. So that's also what I want to touch base on. I'm calling out whoever's listening, is we also have to nurture those aspects. You have to adapt, and you have to adjust your life situation and go to them and how to nurture those and really pray about it and like go to God and like figure out where you need to evaluate their situation and nurture that. So to touch base on El Moreno saying, what have I done? Really? I mean, to be honest, I've been treating her as a friend, and it's been sweet, but it's also draining me, and it's taking the life out of me, to be honest. It's hard to, somebody you truly love, like more than a friend, is like, it's hard to like talk to them as like, oh, hey, what's up? How you doing? Like, rather than, oh, hey, babe, oh, what's up? Oh, I'm like, it like drains you. So you got to absorb that sometimes. And recently, to be honest, I kind of hurt that. We had a conversation because I was like, dude, we need to like, not dude, I don't call her dude, but I was like, we need to pull back for a bit because I'm stressed out, like, in a way. Yes, we have been at peace when we see each other, and it's beautiful. It is. We're treating it as a friendship, and you do marry your best friend. So maybe she's calling me out and trying to say something. So I don't know. I'm confused on that aspect. But she did tell me, you see, isn't it nice to treat a friendship like a relationship, or treat a relationship like a friendship? And I was like, oh, she kind of woke me up there. And the next song is kind of funny. It's called Still Friends. And it's like, you really do marry your best friend, and you do have to treat them as a friend. So in a way, she could be testing me. I don't know where I was getting at with that. What was I saying?
I think what you're saying resonates with me in that, like, because one thing that we do here at the Longhairs is develop masculinity, right? And so just because you're a masculine person does not mean that you can't be nurturing or you can't be empathetic, right? Yeah. And so I think, from my personal experience, like, as a man, as a masculine man, it's not my job to like be the authoritative. Like, I'm married and I love my wife dearly, right? But it's not my job to be like the man, like I tell her what to do, and we're gonna have this kind of life. It's my job to lift her up, to be like the foundation. So like as a man and as a masculine, I'm a protector and I'm a provider and stuff like that. So, but what does that
with that hair?
What does that mean? So like, what does it mean to provide then? Sure, provide safety, right? But also to provide support, and so it's like. I need to be able to be there for someone and to just support them. And if it means giving them space, I'll give them space. Maybe even if I don't agree with like the situation, it's like, it's not up to me. I can give my 50%, and then
amen.
The rest of it is up to them. Right. And so one thing that a friend once told me is you can't pour from an empty vessel, right?
Amen.
So
I love that.
And so a lot of people, some people like don't know what that means. Right now, this person doesn't need me to be their dad. They need me to be their friend.
Yeah.
They need me to just be their shoulder, you know?
Shoulder to cry on.
Yeah.
Like
and
that.
so
See, that could be a song.
sometimes it could be really tough. Like I've gone through really terrible breakups, and I realized, like, you know what? Am I trying to like really force this thing to work for them, or am I doing it for me?
So that's what she said. That's how it all ended, honestly. She was like, I just need space now, this and that. I gave her space, and then she was like, I think it's good that we just separate. And then I was like, whoa. I was like, all right. And then, so we did, and then, boom, music. I had to write, and because feelings and emotions took over, and I was just like, what? How do I deal with this? And I'm going to touch base on this, though. A lot of worldly men and friends that I have, and people are just like, oh, screw her. Like, go screw somebody else and move on, and you'll be okay. And, like, just there's plenty of women. I was like, dude, yeah, but this woman, like, I've told her this many times. I was like, there's something so powerful within inside of you that I hope you see one day in yourself too, because sometimes she gets insecure and that's where I messed up. I didn't nurture that insecurity. But like a lot of my friends were saying that, they're like, oh, like just move on, this and that. I was like, bro, it's not as easy as you say. And like I genuinely care, and I'm a different man now because of her. And I like usually I would, to be honest, my old self, I didn't value myself like I used to. My ex taught me how to value myself more and value my time and my space. And I didn't do that before. And I cherish everything about her. Like, and I don't want to be a different man. And I do want to be who Christ has called me to be, because before I didn't share that. It's funny how we're talking about Christ, and I'm now doing all this modeling stuff too. It's so funny. Like I'm modeling as Christ now, and Utah, and all these paintings and everything. And yeah, we will in a second. But like that, like, just life, how God works. It's just insane. I'm modeling as Christ, and then this breakup happens to wake me up, and like God gave her strength to like end it, because in a way she didn't have the strength before, because she was just like, oh, if this keeps happening, this and that, and blah blah blah. And like, this is a wake up call. God's giving me a wake up call, and now I'm embracing it, and I'm taking heat of it. Yeah, I'm depressed. I have been depressed, but like I'm fighting through it through music and through reading the Word of God daily. Like, it's really honestly helped me the most. And we could touch base on the Christ modeling stuff.
Well, before we get into that, I want to get into just great. Everything you said there, Sicario, is really, really spot on. I think something too to add to that, I like the vessel analogy, and you could definitely fill your own vessel up yourself. But key part of being in a relationship is that person knows what kind of love you need, and they help fill your vessel for you too.
Wow,
you know?
I love that.
And that's why, I mean, like, you know, we've been married. All three of us here are all married.
Must be nice. Just kidding.
Look, man, you learn a lot about
time,
you just learn a lot through your marriage.
I'm picking on you.
It's fascinating. It's fun to hear you talk about relationships and stuff, and kind of listen from a married guy's perspective, and how
it's all
much
the same. It's a relationship.
No, it's a lot different when you're married. Way different.
Well, right, but it's a title. Everybody titles it, I guess.
Yeah.
No, man, it's not just a title. It's a commitment. It's a bond.
Yeah,
you made this commitment for life. If you cannot communicate, you will not get anywhere. And both of your vessels inside of you, that love will just get drained and drained and drained, and you two will just grow further apart. And then that's when, you know, you live like that for years, and then it gets to a point where you're like, I'm getting divorced. I can't live like this anymore. But
it's communication.
It all is communication, and it's setting egos aside, especially as the man.
Oh, you said it right there.
As the man, you always want to be the problem solver. You're always going to be like, it's in us to be like, I'm going to solve this and solve this and solve this. Women, especially you're in a relationship or a marriage, you can't be that. There's time and a place for that.
Yeah, amen.
And it's not all the time, and it's not all the place. You got to know when it is a time and the place. And a lot of the time, it is just going back to what he said, just shut the fuck up and listen to what is actually happening. And don't run every freaking answer in your head like, okay, well, we could do this or we could do that, or why didn't you do it this way? Literally shut up and just listen, and don't even say one word, and just let her talk.
Yeah. And one thing that has helped my wife and I be very successful, and I mean, we're 2 years in, right? A little over 2 years. But I mean, we've been together for almost 5 years, right?
Right, yeah.
And the how do I say, the examples that I got growing up of what like manhood was was like pretty toxic, honestly. Just never saying how you like your actual feelings, never saying like, hey, you know what, I'm tired,
Right. Yeah,
or you know what, I need just give me some time right now, or hey, I don't like when you do this, right? And instead it's like, well, I'm just gonna hold it in until I explode, and then there's a big fight, and now everything's even worse, right?
Wrong.
Oh,
yeah.
sorry, my children with hair loss bottle. Thank you very much, by the way, y'all. I love you very much. Can't wait to see you in 2 years. So one thing that's helped my wife and I be very successful, because we like never fight ever, and it's not because, oh my God, nothing's ever wrong, but it's because I've learned, you know, don't let a small problem become a big problem, right?
Oof, I love that.
A small problem is like you keep leaving the toilet seat up, right? But instead of I constantly leave it up, and then one day she screams at me because she fell in the toilet again, right?
Yeah.
It's like, hey, could you just remember to please leave the seat down? I'm like, oh, you know what? You're right. Like, it takes 1 second for me to put the seat
So
down.
funny you use that analogy. You had an issue with that. I
Right.
left the toilet seat up.
Or something as simple
Yeah,
as
put it down.
down the road. It's like, dude, every time you do this and blah 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 and blah 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 and like then we don't talk for a month.
No, I know. Yeah.
You know, so I think as men, it's our job. This is part of continuously developing our masculinity, of like, hey, this is how I feel, and this is just what I need from you right now, right?
Amen.
And that's just as important as this person saying, hey, this is what I need from you, and then it's your job to not your, but like all of our job as men. When someone says something like that, that's it. That's the answer. That's the secret. That's the secret formula to solve the equation. They're telling you right now, hey, this is what I need. Okay, I'm going to give you that right there.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm not going to give you more. I'm not going to give you less. You know, even though in my heart I want this outcome over here, but this is what they're asking for, and that's all. That's all you can do, because that's why we call each other partners, right? I got to do my half, and that's it, man.
Amen.
You know.
I'm gonna touch base on that ego thing, because Lindsay
dude.
brought up
Ego
that
is
was
the enemy.
Yeah, that's kind of where I figured it out. Like, as I was separated from her the last 3 months and everything, I was like, dang, it was my ego too. Like, kind of like confronting me and smacking me in the face. And that's why in the Someone Else cover art, it was like a mirror of me holding a piece of like broken glass from the mirror of myself. And really, in reality, it was really myself not seeing that side of me truly until it was too late in a way, you know? And I let the ego get to me, because she would always like say, oh, I'm tired, I don't want to do this. And I would take it personal. I'm like, oh, what the heck? Why don't you just come out? This would be a great opportunity. You need to, this and that. Like, you never know who you're going to meet, this and that, being in LA, you know, or whatever. But then I didn't nurture that like side of it. And I kind of like, in a way, ruined trust, I guess, and hurt her, and didn't feel that void, you know? So like, I don't know. So yeah, touch base on that. So thanks.
Yeah. Right. And don't get me wrong, like we're always going to deal with ego forever, right?
Yeah.
It's not like something you just get cured of, but it's a practice. It's a muscle that you just have to train constantly. You know, no
training
ego,
it now.
no ego, no ego.
Heartbreak.
Yeah, and even things like little nonsense like jealousy. You know, like I'm just not a jealous person.
Thankfully, I didn't get jealous.
Yeah, but some guys really deal with jealousy like
Yeah.
really bad. And sure, of course, you know, you don't like the idea of your partner running off with someone else or some other, you know,
No, I know.
fantasy.
Not with someone else.
Yeah, but like the way I see it is like, man, my wife chose me, man.
Yeah, you're right. And she did chose in the beginning of the relationship too. She talked about that. She, oh, you know, you met the one when you meet the one, and like, oh, I want to marry you, this and that. But then in reality, I was like, from that, when she said that though, I did tell her, I was like, to be honest, there is no such thing as a one. And Pastor Jefferson Bethke talks about that. Because if somebody did marry someone else's one, then that person marries someone else's one, this one, that one. It's chaotic, because we're very simple people, humans, and everybody makes mistakes. So there isn't such thing as a one. Like you said, it's commitment, you know? And I told her that from the get-go. But like the ego thing got a hold of us, or me, I would say. It got a hold of me, and I didn't nurture it the way it needed to be nurtured, the insecurities and stuff. And yeah, and then, I mean, our communication did lack in areas, but it also was very good. When we did get in arguments, though, we got to the root of issues, and we always usually turned it into laughter, which was a beautiful thing, which was a cool thing. But I was just biting myself in the butt with this stupid ego of mine, and not really nurturing our time and my time of what is it? I don't know. Like I said, I host a bunch of events, and I'm always trying to do stuff for other people, this and that. But sometimes, and if people do struggle with this, take time for yourself and really hone in and zone in to nurture your walk in life. And it doesn't have to be about always helping others. right off the bat. And sometimes you really need to nurture yourself first to help others. You know,
You gotta fill your vessel, man.
fill that vessel first.
Your vessel, man.
So let's talk about what that means, just to give some practical, real-world solutions to people. When you say nurture yourself, you know, like you could just say that to anybody, and they're like, okay, yeah, so I'm gonna just sit down and nurture myself. So let's do some real life things. I'll just name a few, I think, and I'll let you guys go around. I think like focusing on fitness, like your body, just your health.
Yeah.
Let's just call it health in general. That's one way that you can nurture yourself. Mental clarity, meaning put everything down, sit in a chair, think for yourself about all the things in your life.
Yes, without your
and try to
phone.
look for a direction that you need to go, or what is that burning thing inside telling you to do, and like listen to that. Okay, what are the next steps? You know, relationship. Pass it on over to El Sicario here. But those are three like on the top of my head that are just like focus on those. A lot of other things start falling into place.
Yeah, I think
discipline,
as
right?
men, like the root of a lot of our problems is these things that we've been talking about: ego, you know, fear is a big one. I think a lot of guys are afraid to be vulnerable, and obviously you don't want to just go around being vulnerable constantly. But it's more like when you have to be willing to be vulnerable to the people that matter to you.
Yes,
right.
I love that one.
So like with my wife, I had to be able to be vulnerable in front of her and to tell her like, hey, this is what I need from you, man. Or like, hey, I'm really hurting, right? Or something, whatever it is that I need, I have to be able to show her like, I'm showing you right now. It's not like that. So here's a saying that someone said many years ago that I still think about constantly: a knight in shining armor is a man that has never had his metal truly tested.
Wow.
Ooh, I love that.
Right? So to me, I don't want shining armor. I want that battle hardened, you know, I want the chinks and the dents and the dirt and the mud in there, right? I want the scars and the scratches and all that, because it shows me that I was willing to put myself through the ringer. And part of that is not being impervious to having my feelings hurt or whatever. If you've never had your feelings hurt, who are you? Like, what rock do you live under? Right? And so part of that is like, okay, because I'm trying to test my mettle here. Okay, well, if I'm too afraid to even show my emotion and be vulnerable, right? Then I'm not achieving that next level of developing myself, because I'm afraid of I'm afraid of the consequences of just letting my wife know I'm sad.
Yeah.
You know, how silly is that, right? And how many people like lose relationships or friendships or any kind of relationship, friendship, even with their parents. They don't talk to their parents anymore because they were too afraid to just talk about it.
Yeah.
You know?
Totally.
And so developing yourself is like nurturing yourself is like just willing to accept that we're human, man, that we err,
mess up,
that we have ego, and before you even come close, just for anyone listening, before you even come close, like there's like we talked about this too before the podcast. Sometimes even though I know this person, whoever this, you know, theoretical person is, sometimes I'll have a conversation with someone and I know going into it, we're probably not going to agree on anything, but it's important for me to have those conversations. But it's important for me to get and sit down and talk with this person who I will never, ever want to be friends with, just to get into their head and understand like what's going on. How did this happen?
What came to me in the thought is about seeking discomfort and get outside that comfort zone to like talk and nurture your conversations with these types of people, because like that is what's going to develop you and understand life. It's not always going to be in your way of thinking or way of the steps you take in life. You know, it's not always spot on with you and your thoughts. So that's pretty deep.
Yeah.
And nurturing yourself. What else is like self-development? Let me hear my opinion, because I'm curious what I have to say.
Yeah, what you got?
I mean, you don't have to, it can still, you can, it doesn't have to be entirely different from what
it's
your version of
right.
Well, what I've been doing recently, let me give you, I guess, life examples. Like I said, I let go of my ego. I let go that not everything can be on my timing and my spot on, I guess. Spot on my timing, you know. I let go of that. I actually had a conversation with my mom last night too, because I was like, Mom, I honestly, to be real, and I'm gonna be transparent with everybody, because this is making me I'm gonna be more vulnerable. I was like, I've never been this depressed in my entire life, to be honest.
Really?
And I was like, I mean, I have my days. Some days I'm freaking rock on, like, let's go, I'm ready to rock, you know. And then I get hit, boom, blindsided by something, just thoughts and this and that. But I told my mom, I was like, wow, what really me and you kind of struggle with. I'm a mama's boy, and I might make a song about that, to be honest. But I was like, Mom, like, to be honest, you didn't nurture me in the best way possible, and I wanted to address it with her. I'm doing it out of love, though. Like, we're not arguing. I was like, Mom, like, but you also didn't nurture yourself, Mom. Like, you never really gave yourself time to alone space. Like, you're always on the go. You're always trying to make food for other people. You're always doing this and running around, this and that. It's like, look at Dad. Like, Dad is a great example. He'll come home from work. He'll just sit in the pool or just relax and just have time for himself. And sometimes we need that. Like, and what I'm getting at, like, I guess a physical fitness aspect of doing things for yourself is a great one. But also another one I would say too is maybe like a massage or like a spa day or something to make yourself look beautiful, I guess, in a sense.
Sure.
Or like make your self-esteem more better, I guess, is those things. Let down your ego. Stop saying you don't need those, but in reality, we probably do this. What's the first thing you do when you wake up? You look at yourself, okay? But if you're not super happy with yourself, what are you going to do to change that? I don't know, trim your beard or trim your hair, the nasty cut ends here or something. You never know, you know? Yeah. Like, do something to make you feel more alive and more fresh, I guess, you know?
Yeah.
So like that's a good way of nurturing it. And I don't know,
awesome, man.
Yeah, I told my mom that.
It's great stuff.
Even making small little changes, like if you got like an office in your home, just move the furniture around. Just change something, you know?
Yeah.
Or like
fresh perspective.
Change is good.
Change, adapt.
Make just a small change.
Yeah.
And even if you can't, let's say you have this big problem, right? And you're not going to figure it out all at once. What's step one? How about that?
This is great. Yeah.
What is step one? Okay, let me get my bearings here. Okay, I got my step one. Let's go. That's it.
Love that.
Yeah,
and I feel a lot of guys don't give themselves the time to figure themselves out, and then that starts the algorithm that leads to making the wife cry or getting broken up, or you just broke your kid's heart or something. You know, like, hold on, man, time out, dude.
Hey, another big blocker of everything we're talking about is this, the phone.
Oh,
if you're always into this, you'll never have this time to just think, because you're constantly putting yourself,
my issue too.
Yeah.
putting yourself distractions, just taking distractions. You have no brain, like no room in your brain to think. So shutting the phone off is huge.
She would always yell at me, "Can you just sit here and be present?"
Yeah.
Oh, dang it.
That's a big reason, like the physical side comes to my mind right away, because if you're out running or even doing a walk like this, or when you're lifting weights, you can't be on your phone. So your mind has to go places. And when you get into a rhythm of that, if you've never worked out and it's your first week, like all you're thinking about is how hard your body hurts and I can't do this or whatever. You get over that, and you're in another realm of your kind of physical health. Now it is more meditative. Now when you're doing something, it's more just that rhythm, and now your brain is having that time to think about the issues, ponder some solutions, so on and so forth.
Let me say this, because this brought up this thought. When he brought up the phone, is like, I wrote this down the other day too. A lot of people in the world, what the world promotes is connecting the world, right?
Yeah.
But in reality, what they're really doing is they're connecting the world to disconnect. You know, they're disconnecting from reality, and that's the issue with these phones and technology and just. I mean, we live in a consumption world and market. No offense, sorry, long hairs, but like obviously, yes,
we take part. Yeah, we put out a lot.
I mean,
for sure.
I do it too. I'm a content creator. That's what I do, and like I storytell. But we also have to have a great balance and really disconnect sometimes, set aside, and this is like the self-healing aspect. So to tie it all together, a really good self-healing and reflection part of everything is really disconnect from everything around you, from technology, and really sit in peace with God, either nature, whatever, and just sit at peace with yourself and reflect and evaluate yourself, you know, and that's where we struggle with, you know.
So that there's like that saying, phones eat first. Mm-hmm. So when people go out to dinner,
I haven't heard that.
You never heard that?
No.
I have now.
When people go out to dinner and this really beautiful, I love the culinary arts, right? And so let's say you go to a restaurant that has an actual like chef with the line cooks and they're doing all that stuff, and then they serve you this work of art, this edible art,
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
And then people pull out their phone and they take a damn picture of it, and it's just like, oh my God,
goodness,
dude!
yeah.
Like, you just fed your phone first. The phone got to eat before you did.
I'm a culprit. I kind of do that sometimes.
Right, and so to me, it's like, remember, bro.
Because of Google reviews.
Let your
Sad,
phone try
man,
it
what we
first.
do. Unbelievable. But how'd you get there? Usually people see it on Yelp.
But how would you
Google
get a
reviews-
picture of it if you didn't take your phone out?
Why do you need a picture of it?
Well, I'm saying, like, how'd you end up going to that restaurant first? You usually get reviews, don't you? First.
Yeah, but what? But I can read the words
Yeah,
that say, "Oh, it was really good," right?
Right.
But so I'm saying, like, me as a person that is there for the experience, I'm not gonna let my phone have the experience. I'm gonna
Yeah.
have the experience.
No,
And
it
guess
totally
what?
blows the
If
experience.
if I love
Yeah,
that
right.
food so much, I'm gonna come back. And guess what? Anyone else that I wanted to see, what are you really taking the picture for? To show to let people know how much you loved it, or to show them that you did the thing?
Yeah, how cool you are. 'cause
And that
we
goes
went
back
here.
to ego.
Yeah, how cool.
That goes
Yo,
back
look
to the
where I
ego
ate.
and to the vanity. It's a flex of showing, oh man, I went to this Michelin star
Oh
restaurant.
my gosh, yeah, pride thing.
It's
Yeah.
pride. It's pride. It's vanity.
That's what I've
it's
been
ego.
doing though too. Is I'm kind of holding back sometimes when I post something or share something. I'm just like, should I actually share this? What is this for? Why? Like, is it for a pride thing? Is it just for myself? Or for,
questions asked.
so then I'm just like, I'm not gonna share it because it's like, I'm gonna get prideful now, or like this, or like say if I think about my ex. Oh, I thought about my ex because of this post. Am I gonna post this? Nope, no, of course not. Why? It's just gonna cause turmoil. Like if she does see it, or like So it's good to question yourself before.
Another
you post
thing about the
something.
photo of the food, it's like now it's so distracting for everyone else. Like you pretty much ruin everybody else's experience.
I can't. If I go and hang out with someone at my house.
Is there a time limit though? Like if I just am like real quick one, or is it the whole fact of like setting it? Taking 18 pictures.
Oh my
like-
goodness! Set dress. I'm gonna stop you right there. Look, you know what you need to do? You need to enjoy it first. If it was that mesmerizing, you come back the next day to support them and that artist. That's what you need to do. Yeah.
It's like people that record fireworks with their phone.
Oh man.
Oh, you're one of those guys, huh?
Yeah,
Firework
I
recorder.
love fireworks.
Hey man, we keep it real on the long hairs.
Oh,
We got it.
man.
We got it.
I'm a pyromaniac.
As men, we got to call each other out.
I light
man.
things on fire. It's probably a bad thing.
Okay, let's shift back real quick on the music, and the inspiration for it all is really this love kind of affair that you're going through and everything you're learning about yourself through that.
Yes. Correct.
What happens when you can't make music about that anymore?
Nah, I've already started writing new music.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
There we go.
But it's not recorded.
About other stuff, not
Yeah,
girls
yeah.
and
I'm actually I'm kind of like how my music comes to life. You'll see it through my content and stuff. Like I said, I tune into things around me. I listen now, and like I actually zone in and I hear things. And like my roommates kind of get annoyed at it, but I hear them say something. I'm like, whoa, wait, that could be a song. And then I'll write down information,
Okay.
notes, or I'll sing it to my phone, this and that. And then what happens is I'll bring it to the studio, my friend, my producer, and then he'll just produce the beats, and then boom, it comes to life. But yeah, so basically I'm writing now and singing to my phone worship stuff. So I kind of want to do a worship album. If my parents listen to this podcast, I'm actually going to do stuff for my parents. I want to talk about like my relationship with my parents and what they show me. And I also want to go towards more motivating music of like persevering and fighting for something and like growing and hope, more of hope rather than like love, because everybody just
Hey, you gotta have your
feels.
love song.
Yeah,
love tracks.
everybody has to have their love songs. Everybody has to go through those waves. So I do have that already. So now I do want to transition into more hopeful music, I guess.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
Awesome. Hair's looking fantastic.
Thanks.
Any new
I
things
use
with the
a
hair?
product called the Longhairs hair serum.
Okay.
So good.
Unfortunately, sold out.
Hey, that's a good
But
sign.
New bottles coming,
Hey.
not for long. And when they drop, they're dropping hard.
I love
There
it.
they are, right there.
I love
Actually,
it. It's so good. More professional looking.
clock
I mean,
is
not
ticking.
not that it wasn't already. But it was,
sign up. Get on the email list.
Get on our email list because you do not want to miss out. It's going to happen quick.
their scent is
Yeah.
amazing. I love it. Their fresh
Yeah.
greens. Whew, smells so good.
You're a fresh greens guy?
I like that one, but
Nice.
also I'm more of the wood shop, to be honest. But the fresh
Okay.
greens, you can never go past the greenery. So good.
We are pumped about the music and what you're going through, and it was great to dig into that a little bit. Can we get a little preview of like song 2 or the first song? What about first song?
Let's do this. Let's do second song, I guess.
Is it, yeah, the long hairs get the world premiere
World
or what?
premiere, dude.
Premiere of the second song.
Okay.
It has
Sneak
Let-
peek,
let it
dude.
ride,
It's the
man.
teaser. We're not
Yeah,
gonna
it's
get
a
the whole
teaser.
thing, you know.
Yeah, it's
Just
fine. This song somewhat has hope, but obviously there is sometimes there's a point in there where it talks about like, yo, we need space and we need healing. Obviously, I won't play the whole song. We'll play the first couple of seconds. But it talks about
Just
like,
give us a taste,
Little taste,
15
little
seconds.
taste.
Let's go.
And then make sure we let them know where to go to find the rest.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. All right, here we go. Let's do this.
He even brought his own
Brought his
microphone
own
stereo.
speaker.
Own speaker.
Prepared.
And it's a Marshall for Marshall.
So this song was inspired by a conversation. So here we go.
She said, "Can we still be friends?
Here
I
it
don't
is.
want this to end.
Wait, that's you?
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Who would have thought?
We made this bed. Gotta lay in it, but can we still be friends? Oh, tell me, can we still be
Oh, it's got a little dance vibe to
I
it.
don't
It's a
want
hype
this
song.
to
That's what it
Okay.
is.
even words you
Dude.
say.
Hell yeah.
I'm left on red, I know where
I can see you being out, poolside even.
but can we still be
Or like it's at the beach, you're like running.
tell me
Ugh.
So that's it. That's the
Dude, fire.
beginning.
Okay, I will say between you and your buddy who are you guys making the music, you're very good at like creating the catchy, like the rhythms are good,
Yeah,
like
thank
it
you.
makes you want to sing along with it.
Yeah,
Even
thank
though
you.
that's the first time I ever heard it, I'm like, can we still be friends?
I don't want this to end.
That's like driving down the Silver Strand, dude.
Yeah.
I know, it's so cool.
Dude.
Wind blowing.
I'm blessed.
Some perfect summertime song, man.
Dude,
I know,
yeah.
right? The windows down.
On the city
convertible,
scrambler
Jeep
with
Wrangler.
no helmet. Nee.
I love that. I actually, with the music video ideas, I have a brand that I might get in. I have their car in the vehicle in the music video. I might use their car. It's all top down, doors off.
Yeah, there we
So
go.
we'll see. But yeah, no, it's inspiring. It's fun, upbeat. Has a lot of meaning. Obviously, it will probably resonate with her, me. Obviously, it resonates with me. Of course, I wrote it. My friend obviously helped me write it, so I'm very blessed and thankful. He wrote the beat and melody, and it's a joint. It's a team. It's amazing what we could do together. So,
Marshall, you have the heart, you have the hair, you got the skills, man.
passion.
You're doing it all, dude. I love it,
I
bro.
appreciate
How do
that.
we listen to the music? Where do we find you? Where do we follow you? Tell all the long hairs out there so
All
they
right,
can
so-
go jam on your music, dude, because it
Here-
is good, and I'm singing it at my house.
Thank you.
With my
thank you,
girls.
Thank you. So yeah, the music. Speaking of girls and babies and young ones, it is children friendly. No cuss words.
There we go.
That's what my music inspires is words of, I guess, affirmations, but also just like no swear words, and like I want it to be child and family friendly. So that's another thing. So you can find my music on any platform. It's all over. It's on Instagram's platforms. It's on Spotify, Apple Music, SoundCloud,
Give them that
Snapchat.
follow on
So
Spotify.
Marshall
Is that the big one
Chakra.
for you, though? I'm assuming Spotify's big one.
Yeah, Spotify, Apple Music's been the most pull.
I like
Okay.
Apple Music personally.
Okay. Apple Music,
iTunes, you
Spotify.
get it. You can
Both
buy it
good.
too.
Yeah.
It's $1.29. It's gonna resonate with a lot of people, and it's resonating with me and how I'm growing and how I want to perceive and help others grow from my mistakes.
Right on.
So music is
Fantastic,
gonna
brother.
be found Marshall Chakra, Marshall like the store, and then Chakro SHAAKRO.
Okay.
Hey, there it is.
And then obviously, if you want to find it, the long hairs are gonna just always hype me up and promote
Always.
me. So I appreciate that.
Dude, phenomenal. Thanks for coming down to HQ, man, and we'll get
Thank
you back
you.
on once you got, a few more tracks dropped, and we'll talk about where you're at next.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I appreciate you accepting me and getting me down here. It's been quite a journey.
Hell yeah, brother.
Sticking
All
by you
love,
guys.
man.
The hair
All love. Let's
speaks
go.
volume, baby.
Thank you, El Sicario, for joining today. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
Appreciate you.
That's it, boys. Till the next one.
We'll see you.